Okay, House on Pleasant Street channel, YouTube. I'm going to continue here today with my little garage rehab fix-up. It's a real mess in here. But what I want to do today is I've bought some windows, and I want to get started on this. So I bought these rather inexpensive, they're called shed windows. They're roughly the size of the opening, a little bit narrower. A real window, if you will, was a couple $100, $200, $250, $350. These were $75. They're shed windows. They're solid vinyl. They're single pane sliders. I think in an old building like this, I wish they were a little bit bigger, but this is as big as they came when I was shopping. And I got 3 of them. So the plan is I'm going to replace this window, which is broken, falling down, this window, which is broken, falling down, and this window, which has been boarded up for years. So I'm going to start on this one, and yeah, I should let a little bit of natural light in here. Should improve the look of this old building and make it a bit more functional inside. So that's where one window was boarded up. So we will have one window here. And we will have 2 windows here. You can see how rough that is. I'll have to fix up the cedar shakes in that. I haven't decided 100% how I'm going to refinish this building, but I do have spare shakes, so the window will be a little bit narrower. I got some material to fix that up. My door, like I mentioned in my last video, my roll-up steel door is ordered. I checked up on them. It's still has something to do with the shipping. It's probably another couple of weeks away, so I just thought I would jump in and get these windows done. I want to also do this window, and I do have a window left over from my house renovation that I would like to fit up there, and that's a freebie. So okay, let's get started. All right, a couple minutes later, I got my rough opening marked out, 14 1/4 by 32. I've got 4 holes drilled at each corner. I'm going to take the reciprocating saw and I'm going to lop that out. Hopefully I don't lose too many cedar shakes there on the perimeter. Alrighty, here we go. Okay, well here's our opening. I decided to go a little bit bigger all around because the way the cedar shakes come down, it would have been too jagged against that little window edge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the window flush on the plywood. Then I'll have to come back around and put some kind of a piece of trim around, deck board, fence board, something sliced down, window trim, something to dress it up a little bit. It just did not look right with the cedar shakes. So that's just a shed window, and the just a little bit too thin. So I got a little bit of adhesive on there. I'm going to throw this in place, and then we're going to put up a little trim around there. Hopefully it's going to look okay. Okay, well, here's our little window. Not bad. It's just setting up there with the adhesive. Pulled out some old boards. I'm going to rip down some trim, and I'm just gonna throw some trim just around the perimeter there, and pretty much call that one done, I think. Okay, and there's our finished product. Well, not quite finished because I'd have to come back and fix up the paint. Maybe do the trim in white and do the siding in yellow. But there it is. My little $75 shed window is installed. Took a little bit longer because of the cedar shakes and getting around. But if you were just throwing in to a shed or a building that just had the old the plastic or the vinyl siding, real easy, real good value. Single pane sliders, but in a little building like this, did not want to spend too much money. The old house garage rehab. Well, there it is. So 1 down and 3 more to go. All right. Okay, well, we're back at it in the garage. I think this morning I'm going to try this window. Let's see how this goes. My little tent garage is on the other side. Not a lot of access room. It's going to be a bit of a pain, but let's see if we can get this done. Okay, so pop that window out. That literally took 2 minutes. And so what we're going to do now is I've already added a little bit of lumber here to build this down because I want the gap to be proper on the outside to where the cedar shakes end. I need to add a 3/4 inch strip on this end. That's how my window's going to sit. But first, the two 2x4s that are on the bottom here are pretty rotted. So I got lots of 2x4s. Again, they were free. So I'm going to pop these two 2x4s out. I'm going to turf them and I'm going to replace them. So I'm going to pop these out, replace them, add a 3/4 inch strip, and that'll be my initial corner for that window. Okay, so far going well. Okay, so it's about an hour later. There was a little bit more rot than met the eye here. So all this stacked 2x4 along with the old rough cut piece, I pulled all that out. I've got a kind of a crudely made frame opening that should accept the new window. I've come back in here and I've put a piece of sheathing back on the building. And this sheathing that I'm using is remnants of this loft. So, like, again, if you watch my previous video, the loft used to span the whole roof of this little garage. And I just thought it was too much. It made the building seem really closed in. So now that I've got the loft cut back, I'm able to salvage all these old boards. Same boards that I used to refill in all the bottom when I cut out all that stuff. And I'm also using them for filler pieces. I'm using them for window trim. So anyway, a rough opening for that window. Let's hope it fits. I'm gonna test fit it. If it's good, I'm gonna throw a little bit of adhesive on there and I'm gonna throw that back in the hole. So the building, again, I diminished the loft. I mentioned that before. I also raised it up. This building was rotted at the base. It had sunk down into the dirt and was rotted. I lifted the front probably almost a foot off the ground. So the building, not much of a building. And I mean, let's not get carried away here. This is an old building. There are some issues. And there's some rot. I mean, most people would have knocked this down. I thought it was worth preserving. I really don't have a lot of money in this building right now. I do need a place to house my car this winter. I've got a project car, the Mercury Comet, which you've already seen. I want to have that car in here so I could work on it. So not a lot of money spent. All my 2x4s I got for free. I got about $300 spent in new lighting and about $260 for windows. My next big expense will be the door, and the door is coming. It's going to be a nice roll-up steel door. So here's an old window that's going to come out, disastrous. And there's my rough opening down there. I'm just getting ready to throw my window in. All right, let's hope it fits. Okay, and here it is in its home. If it's good, if it's nice, it's going to add a little bit of daylight. I mean, eventually the tent garage will be moved. It's going to add some natural light, ventilation. It does have one pane that slides open. So there she goes. I'm going to glue it in place. I'm going to call this one done. And I'm going to move on to that one. And then after that, I'll have to come back and trim out the outside and fix up the cedar shakes. That seems to be what takes the longest. Okay. Well, window number 3. I said it takes 2 minutes to pop the old window out. But, there is some newer lumber. And what I mean by newer is that it's not like 60 or 100 years old, like the main building. But other lumber's been added, and as you can see, there's always a bit more rot than meets the eye. So all this has to go. You can't. There's no sense, even on a cheap window. There's no sense putting it on top of that. That has to go. This has to go. Hopefully, on the other one, I had to replace this big sill, but this one looks like. We'll take a closer look at it once this is all out. But like I said, there's always more rot than meets the eye. Anyway. Oh, shit. That's not even good for kindling. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to peel all this back, have a look at this beam, if this one's good. Obviously, I tried to cut this down, but those are also no good, so I'm going to pop this out. And I'm going to reframe, just like I did the other one, I'm going to reframe a little opening for the new small window. And yeah, hoping if I can get this done before lunch, I'll be happy. It'll be a good day. All right. Okay, well, here's window number 3. It's just a thing of beauty. Let the adhesive set up. I'm going to come back. I'm going to, just like I did on that one, I'm going to do a little bit of sheathing. And then I'm going to try to gather up whatever I have for cedar shakes left over and try to fix the perimeter a little bit and make it look half decent. But anyway, these are my shed windows. 1, 2, and number 3 yesterday. So I think now it's time for coffee. All right. We'll continue after that. Okay. A little bit after lunch, I stopped, took a break, came back. There's my windows installed and trimmed out. Of course, I still got to do a little bit of fixing up the cedar shakes. I really don't like cedar shakes, but unless I decide to go with vinyl siding, which is what I would really like to do, I'm going to have to sort of make this look a little bit better. So 3 windows are in. My 4th window is the one up here, which is all smashed. And for that one, I haven't even really took any measurements, but I've got a leftover window from when I was doing my kitchen renos. And that's that window here. I think my plan now is I'm going to start sizing up to see if it would be at all possible to fit this window up there. Why not? I'll have to redo the frame opening. I hope it's not too much of a pain. That's like a slider window, which doesn't make a lot of sense because, you know, that window is way up above, up in the loft, so it's not like you could ever access it from the inside. But I have it left over. It's a solid vinyl window, and I wonder if I can make that work up there. I think I will take a few preliminary measurements and see how this one goes. Okay, so I started taking apart the window above the garage door there. So this is a real mess, and as it turns out, my new window is 44, so I'm going to have to cut into these structural members. It's taller also. I'm going to have to remove this little header here. That exhaust fan there, I wanted that gone anyway. This was basically it looked like an old basement window that somebody pasted on there. And on the outside was a pane of glass with silicone, and it's just a real mess. It's a combination of rotten wood, glass, and silicone. So, you know, I could go out and buy a shed window for $75 and throw it in without having to, you know, change everything up. But the other window, I mean, shoot, I already have it. It's a freebie. It's going to require more labor, but it's going to be $0. So for now, I got to get this glass out, this rotten wood, and then I think I'm going to go ahead with that window. I might change my mind. I've been known to change my mind, but for now, I think I'm going to go ahead, take all this out, cut this out, make a bigger opening, and see how we go. Okay, continuing here. I've got the old window out on the top here, and as you can see, I've outlined where the new window is going to be, and it's quite a bit bigger. Now I can make this work. That's not an issue. You just got to cut out the framing in there. In fact, I've already started and put some new framing in. The only issue I'm having, and what's bothering me a little bit, is that once I'm done, I'm going to want to come back and put some trim around this window. And if you look in the upper corners, there's another piece of trim coming down from the eave on either side in the triangle there. So basically, that my trim is going to butt into that. So I don't know. It might look stupid. Maybe I could make it tie in, and it might look okay. Or maybe these long pieces of trim can be removed at some point. I mean, you know, they're not mandatory there. That's just how this building had been trimmed out. I wish I could just have my full perimeter for my window trim, but I don't know. I'm still determined to get that other window in there, and yeah, I think we're just going to have to make it work. It's not exactly what I would want, but I think I'm just going to forge ahead and we'll just figure something out. All right, so I got that old spare window in. That's a pretty good fit. Again, I'm going to have to play around with the trim once I trim this out. That's pretty much going to be all for today. It was a pretty good day. I said that window's in. That's a recycled window. $0. Got these two in today. And obviously got that one in yesterday. So I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it a day. Tomorrow I'll fix up that trim. Now I've got a bit of a mess to clean up in the driveway. So I've just made up a bunch of kindling that I'll bring to the neighbors there. They have a wood stove. So yeah, we'll do a bit of a cleanup and that's it. All new windows in the old house garage. Signing off. Okay, it's going to be the last clip. House on Pleasant Street channel again. Fixing up the old home garage. I got this window in. Of course, I had it in the last clip. But now I've got the trim all around. I've got the cedar shakes fixed up on top. Obviously, just needs some paint. I've removed a little bit of the trim around the barn doors. That's just in preparation for when my steel door comes. Now inside, before I pack it up today, I'm going to do one more thing. And it's that I found a 2x6 that I'm going to install here to help support my loft. My loft has a little bit of a bow in it. We talked about that before because it's only a 2x4. This 2x6, I found a nice long 2x6. Again, amazing price. It was absolutely free. In fact, I got two of them, so I'm going to put one up. It's got a nice crown to it, so it's going to be crown pointing up. And I'm going to line it up. I'm going to fasten it on each end. Then I'm going to take my floor jack. I'm going to jack up the 2x4 on the loft until it's perfectly level. Now, right now it's got a little bit of a sag. I'm going to screw this all in together. And I'm going to consider the loft secure. Okay, let's see how this goes. There's my 2x6 in place. I still got the temporary support. I've just put all the screws in. So that definitely will take the sag out of that loft. Okay, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching.